Imagine this. It's late at night, and the world outside has gone quiet. You're sitting alone in a room, the dim light casting shadows across the walls. Your thoughts drift like clouds, aimless and restless, when suddenly, without warning, a thought comes to you. Not a memory you were expecting, not a plan you had set in motion, but a message. It arrives with such intensity that your heart skips a beat, and for a moment, you feel as if the room itself is holding its breath. There is a weight to it, a sense of urgency, as if something from beyond your ordinary awareness has reached out and touched you directly. It is shocking, startling, yet strangely familiar, like a hidden truth finally speaking your name. You might try to brush it off, to tell yourself it is coincidence or imagination, but deep inside you feel the pulse of its importance. The message lingers, refusing to be ignored. You notice the silence, the stillness, and something within you stirs. A quiet recognition that life, in ways you cannot always see, has a rhythm, a purpose, and even a voice that calls you toward what you need to hear. As Jung once said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." That sudden thought, that urgent feeling, is not random. It is the whisper of the unseen, the voice of the deeper self, the echo of truths that have waited patiently for your attention. It may shock you, it may unsettle you, but it carries a message you cannot ignore, a message that has the power to change the way you see yourself, your life, and the world around you. Sometimes, in the quietest moments of life, a thought or feeling appears that is so immediate, so pressing, that it demands your attention. It is not the usual chatter of the mind, nor is it something you have consciously planned to think about. It rises from a deeper layer, a part of yourself that knows more than you realize. These are the inner messages Jung often spoke of, the whispers of the psyche that carry a weight we cannot ignore. They arrive like a sudden knock at the door of your consciousness, startling in their clarity and in the urgency with which they demand recognition. These messages often emerge when you least expect them. Perhaps you are walking through a familiar street or lying awake in the middle of the night, and suddenly, an idea or a realization strikes you so sharply that it feels almost external. At first, you may resist it, questioning its origin, wondering if it is merely coincidence or a product of your imagination. But there is a certain intensity, a vibration to these messages that sets them apart. They are not ordinary thoughts. They are signals from a part of yourself that perceives what your conscious mind cannot yet comprehend. What makes these messages urgent is not simply the content, but the timing. They arrive at moments when you are on the verge of change, moments when your life is ready to shift, even if you cannot yet see the shape of that shift. The psyche knows the trajectory before the conscious mind catches up. A sudden realization may feel like a shock because it disrupts the familiar patterns you rely on. It forces you to pause, to reconsider the assumptions you have held, and to acknowledge a reality that had been quietly waiting for your attention. Often the messages are subtle at first. A fleeting image, a fragment of a memory, or a sudden emotional surge can carry the weight of meaning. If you are not attentive, you might dismiss them, shrugging them off as coincidence or imagination. But the inner world is persistent. It has its own rhythm and will continue to press until it is heard. Jung believed that these messages are not random. They are expressions of the unconscious attempting to communicate. They are like letters sent from the depths of your own soul, urgent because the information they carry is essential for your growth or your understanding of the present moment. There is also an emotional quality to these messages that makes them feel urgent. They are often accompanied by a sense of anticipation, anxiety, or even wonder. You might feel your heart quicken, your mind sharpen, as if the very body itself is attuned to the significance of what is being conveyed. This bodily response is important. It signals that the message is not merely intellectual, but is meant to be experienced fully, emotionally, and psychologically. Jung emphasized that ignoring these cues can lead to stagnation or inner conflict, because the unconscious communicates in ways that cannot be silenced indefinitely. The urgency is heightened when the message challenges you, confronts you with a truth you have avoided, or shakes the foundation of your everyday life. It may point to a decision that requires courage, an acknowledgement of feelings you have hidden, or a path that requires faith in the unknown. This confrontation can feel like a shock precisely because it cuts through the ordinary layers of perception. It demands that you recognize a deeper reality, one that your ordinary consciousness might have ignored or resisted. In understanding these messages, it is important to cultivate attentiveness and reflection. They often require careful listening, a willingness to sit with discomfort, and the humility to accept that your understanding is incomplete. The urgency is not a threat, but a guide. It is an invitation to engage more fully with yourself and the life you are living. By paying attention, by honoring the sudden and urgent messages of the psyche, you open the door to insight, clarity, and transformation that could not come in any other way. These moments, fleeting yet powerful, remind us that life is not solely a series of external events. There is an internal dialogue, a constant flow of communication between the conscious mind and the deeper self. When a message comes urgently, it is a call to awaken to that dialogue, to recognize that there is wisdom in the depths of your being, waiting to be understood and integrated into your life. The shock, the suddenness, is merely the intensity with which the soul insists on being heard. Every person carries within them a side that is hidden, a part that is often ignored or denied. Jung called this the shadow, the collection of thoughts, emotions, desires, and impulses that do not fit into the image we present to the world, or even the one we tell ourselves is acceptable. It is not evil by nature, though it can contain elements of darkness. Rather, it is the unacknowledged part of ourselves, waiting for recognition. To encounter the shadow is to confront the aspects of your being that you may have suppressed, rejected, or feared. The shadow can emerge in subtle ways. A sudden outburst of anger, an inexplicable fear, or a recurring pattern in relationships may be the first signs that the shadow is trying to communicate. These moments feel uncomfortable because they reveal truths we would rather not see. Yet, they are essential. Ignoring the shadow does not make it disappear. It only grows in power, influencing our decisions and shaping our lives in ways we often fail to recognize. Jung believed that the shadow contains the raw energy of the self, and if left unacknowledged, it can manifest in destructive ways. The power of the shadow is both intimidating and transformative. When you face it, you confront a mirror of yourself that may feel unfamiliar, even threatening. It can show you impulses you have denied, weaknesses you have hidden, or desires that contradict your conscious identity. This confrontation can feel shocking because it breaks through the comfortable illusions we build around ourselves. We like to think we are fully in control of who we are, but the shadow reveals the truth that a large part of our mind operates beneath conscious awareness. Yet, the shadow is not something to be feared. It is a guide, a reservoir of potential waiting to be integrated. When you meet the shadow with courage and honesty, you gain access to hidden strengths, creativity, and wisdom. The parts of yourself you once judged or feared can be transformed into tools for growth. For instance, the anger you have suppressed may become a source of assertiveness. The shame you have denied may lead to deeper empathy and understanding. The shadow, once recognized, becomes an ally, revealing the fullness of your humanity. Integration of the shadow is not a single moment but a lifelong process. It requires self-reflection, courage, and patience. You must learn to observe yourself without judgment, to recognize the patterns that emerge in your behavior, and to accept that you are more complex than the mask you wear for the world. Each time the shadow makes itself known, it offers an opportunity to grow. It forces you to confront your fears, to examine your motives, and to acknowledge truths that may have been buried beneath years of habit and social expectation. The shadow also reminds us of the interconnectedness of human experience. When we deny aspects of ourselves, we often project them onto others, seeing in them the traits we refuse to acknowledge within. This is why conflict, judgment, and misunderstanding arise. By facing the shadow within, you reduce the need to project it outward. You gain clarity not only about yourself, but about the people and situations around you. In this way, the shadow teaches humility and compassion, showing that what we fear or reject in ourselves is often mirrored in the world. There is a deep, almost mystical quality to engaging with the shadow. It is like exploring a hidden chamber in your own soul, discovering treasures and truths you did not know existed. The process can be unsettling because it requires honesty and vulnerability, but the rewards are profound. The shadow, once embraced, brings authenticity. It allows you to live more fully, to respond rather than react, and to create a life that is aligned with your deepest truths rather than superficial appearances. The power of the shadow is ultimately a power of awakening. It confronts you with your unconscious, challenges your self-image, and demands that you grow. It shocks because it cannot be ignored, yet it nurtures because it is the source of personal transformation. The more you engage with it, the more you understand that the parts of yourself you feared are the same parts that hold the key to wholeness. In this way, the shadow is not an enemy, but a teacher, a hidden companion guiding you towards self-discovery and inner freedom. Sometimes life unfolds in ways that feel inexplicably connected, as if invisible threads are weaving events together with a purpose that our minds cannot immediately grasp. You may notice a series of events that seem unrelated at first, yet when observed carefully, they resonate with a meaning that is undeniable. A chance encounter, a phrase overheard, a song playing at the perfect moment, these occurrences can strike you with a sense of awe or shock because they feel as though the universe itself is speaking directly to you. Jung called this synchronicity, a phenomenon where coincidence is not mere accident, but a meaningful alignment between inner experiences and outer events. Synchronicity often appears at moments when your life is at a crossroads, when a choice or realization is waiting to be made. You might feel that something is trying to guide you, to nudge you toward awareness, yet it does so in ways that do not force themselves upon you. It is subtle, sometimes almost invisible, requiring attentiveness and reflection. A recurring number, a repeated image, or even a fleeting thought that coincides with an external event can serve as a gentle but persistent signal. The shock of recognizing these connections is a reminder that life operates on levels deeper than the surface of everyday experience. These meaningful coincidences carry an emotional weight that ordinary events lack. You might feel a sudden clarity, a sense of being understood, or an inexplicable reassurance. It is as though the universe is affirming that you are on the right path, or that you are being called to see something you have overlooked. Synchronicity can also bring discomfort, revealing truths that you are unprepared to face, or confronting you with the consequences of choices you have not fully acknowledged. In both its comfort and its challenge, it is a bridge between the conscious mind and the deeper layers of awareness. Jung emphasized that synchronicity is not just about noticing patterns, but about recognizing a meaningful correspondence between internal states and external events. For instance, A dream or intuition may align with an event in your life that seems unrelated but carries profound significance. These moments can feel uncanny, almost magical, yet they are deeply psychological, reflecting the way the unconscious communicates with consciousness. They remind us that our lives are not random collections of events, but threads in a tapestry that our minds may only partially perceive. The recognition of synchronicity requires openness and reflection. It asks that you pay attention to the signals life presents, even when they challenge your sense of rationality. By observing these coincidences, you may begin to see patterns in your own behavior, recurring lessons, or opportunities that would otherwise be missed. It is as if life itself conspires to teach you, to guide you, and to bring you closer to understanding your own inner truths. Each meaningful coincidence can be a door into deeper self-knowledge and a richer experience of reality. Synchronicity also highlights the interplay between the inner and outer worlds. Often, the timing of events mirrors the emotional or psychological state of the individual. A sudden insight may appear in perfect alignment with an external event, making the internal realization tangible and undeniable. It is a way of externalizing inner processes, of showing that the unconscious mind and the external world are in dialogue. These moments can shock you precisely because they feel impossible, yet they are profoundly real, offering clarity where confusion once existed. Moreover, synchronicity invites a deeper trust in life itself. It encourages a sense of flow, of moving with rather than against the currents of existence. When you notice that seemingly random events carry meaning, you begin to appreciate that there is an intelligence at work in your own life, not in a mechanical or predictable sense, but in a way that responds to your inner state. It is a reminder that you are connected to something larger than your immediate perception, that the universe is alive with significance, and that your own awareness plays a role in recognizing and participating in that pattern. Transformation begins not in the external world, but within the quiet spaces of the mind. It is born from awareness, the act of seeing clearly the patterns, emotions, and thoughts that shape your life. Jung often emphasized that true change cannot be imposed from outside. It arises when you confront yourself honestly, when you observe your own habits, your fears, your desires, and your unacknowledged impulses. Awareness is the first step, the spark that ignites the process of transformation, because nothing can shift until it is recognized. Becoming aware is often uncomfortable. It asks that you look directly at the parts of yourself that you have ignored or denied. Perhaps it is a tendency to react with anger, a habit of self-doubt, or a fear that has guided your decisions for years. At first, these realizations may feel like a shock, like stepping into a cold wind unprepared. Yet it is precisely this discomfort that carries the power of change. Awareness illuminates what has been operating in the shadows, and in that illumination lies the possibility of freedom. The process of transformation through awareness is gradual. It does not happen instantly, nor does it follow a straight path. It emerges in moments of reflection, in sudden insights, in the quiet recognition of patterns that repeat in your life. When you pause to observe your reactions, your thoughts, and your emotions without judgment, you create a space where understanding can arise. This understanding is not mere intellectual knowledge. It is a deep, lived comprehension of yourself, a recognition of the forces within you that have shaped your choices and your experiences. One of the most powerful aspects of transformation through awareness is the integration of the self. Jung spoke often about individuation, the journey toward wholeness. This journey requires acknowledging all parts of yourself, the strengths, the weaknesses, the light, and the dark. Awareness allows you to confront your shadow, to recognize the unconscious influences that guide your behavior, and to bring these elements into conscious understanding. By doing so, you no longer act solely from habit or fear. You act with clarity, with intention, and with authenticity. Awareness also transforms the way you perceive the world. When you recognize the inner patterns that shape your responses, you begin to see relationships, circumstances, and challenges differently. Situations that once felt chaotic or overwhelming can now be approached with discernment. You notice the ways your mind adds meaning or creates illusions, and you gain the ability to respond rather than react. In this sense, transformation through awareness is both internal and external. It changes not only who you are, but how you navigate the world around you. The process is often accompanied by a sense of awakening. Insights may appear as sudden flashes, as if the mind is connecting threads that were always there, but unseen. A recurring problem may suddenly make sense. A difficult emotion may reveal its source, or a hidden potential may become apparent. These moments are signs that awareness is doing its work. The psyche responds to recognition, to the act of seeing clearly, and begins to reorganize itself around truth rather than illusion. Transformation through awareness also demands courage. To truly see oneself requires honesty, vulnerability, and a willingness to confront discomfort. It requires letting go of excuses, narratives, and illusions that have maintained the status quo. This courage is not the absence of fear, but the willingness to move forward despite it. Each act of self-recognition, each acknowledgement of what has been hidden, expands your capacity for growth, compassion, and authentic living. Over time, awareness cultivates resilience. By observing your inner world and understanding your responses, you become less controlled by external events or the judgments of others. You gain the ability to navigate challenges with equanimity, to see opportunities where before there was confusion, and to transform obstacles into lessons. The transformation is profound, not because it changes the world around you, but because it changes your relationship to it, your ability to act from a place of insight rather than reaction. Ultimately, transformation through awareness is the path to becoming fully human. It allows you to live intentionally, to recognize the depth and complexity within yourself, and to engage with life in a way that is authentic, creative, and whole. The process is ongoing, for awareness is never complete. It is a continual unfolding, a dialogue between the conscious mind and the deeper self. Through this awareness, the psyche leads you into a life that is richer, more meaningful, and aligned with the truths that reside within you. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the willingness to face it, to step forward even when the path is uncertain and the outcome is unknown. Life often presents us with moments that demand courage, moments where we are confronted with truths that shake the foundations of what we have believed about ourselves or the world. These are the moments when the psyche calls us to awaken, to rise above hesitation, and to embrace the challenge of becoming fully aware and fully alive. The call to courage often appears subtly at first, disguised as unease, doubt, or a persistent inner question. It may arise when you are standing at a crossroads, uncertain which direction to take, or when a sudden realization confronts a part of yourself you have avoided. Jung understood that the mind and the soul are constantly in dialogue, and that courage is required to listen to the deeper voice within. It is this voice, often urgent and insistent, that asks you to confront what you fear, to acknowledge what has been hidden, and to act in alignment with your truest self. Courage is intimately connected to the unknown. The human mind prefers certainty, structure, and predictability, yet life rarely delivers these guarantees. The inner call often shocks because it breaks through the safety of familiar routines and comfortable illusions. It challenges you to step into uncharted territory, to engage with aspects of life and self that are unfamiliar and sometimes intimidating. This confrontation can feel like a test, but it is a test not imposed by the world, but by the psyche itself, urging growth, integration, and transformation. Courage is also transformative because it opens the door to new possibilities. When you respond to the inner call, you begin to see opportunities where before there were obstacles. Challenges that seemed insurmountable reveal lessons and pathways for growth. Emotional pain or uncertainty becomes a teacher rather than a barrier. The act of facing fear, of confronting what is hidden or unknown, expands your capacity for empathy, understanding, and resilience. It allows you to engage fully with life rather than retreating into safety or denial. The call to courage is closely linked to authenticity. Life presents many roles and masks, expectations imposed by society, family, or circumstance. Yet the deeper call asks you to step into your own truth, to act in alignment with your values, your instincts, and your inner wisdom. This may require breaking patterns, confronting others, or making difficult decisions. The shock of these moments is intense because they demand honesty and integrity, yet responding to them is liberating, offering a sense of empowerment that cannot be achieved through avoidance or conformity. Courage also connects us to something greater than ourselves. It is the bridge between the conscious self and the deeper, often mysterious layers of the psyche. When we answer the call, we align with the flow of life, with the movement of the unconscious, and with the latent potential that resides within us. It reminds us that we are capable of more than we imagine, that our fears are invitations to growth, and that the true measure of our being is revealed not in comfort, but in how we respond to the challenges life presents. Ultimately, the call to courage is a call to wholeness. It is the invitation to embrace the entirety of yourself, to face both light and shadow, to act in alignment with your deepest truths. It is the realization that shock, fear, and uncertainty are not barriers but catalysts for awakening. Courage is the force that allows inner messages, hidden truths, and sudden realizations to be integrated into life. It is the voice that whispers, sometimes loudly, that you are ready to step into the fullness of your own being, to meet life as it truly is, and to become the person you are meant to be. And so, what we have explored today is not just a series of ideas, but an invitation to pay attention to the messages that life places before you, to the sudden insights that stir your heart, to the truths that shock you, because they reveal who you truly are. These messages, urgent as they may feel, are not meant to frighten you. They are meant to awaken you. They ask you to step into awareness, to face what has been hidden, and to embrace the fullness of your being. To respond to these messages requires courage, a willingness to see yourself as you are, to acknowledge both your light and your shadow, and to trust in the wisdom that emerges when you do. It asks you to recognize the meaningful coincidences that guide your path, the subtle signs that point toward understanding, and the depth of the unconscious that quietly shapes your life. Each of these elements is a doorway, a moment of opportunity to transform, to grow, and to live with authenticity. The journey may be unsettling at times, and the truth may shock you, but that is the nature of awakening. Life does not reveal its deepest lessons gently. It calls sometimes urgently, sometimes in whispers, and it is up to you to listen. When you answer that call, you align yourself with the larger rhythm of existence, with the flow of your own psyche, and with the potential that has always existed within you. So let this be a reminder: the messages that arrive suddenly, the insights that stir your soul, the coincidences that seem impossible, they are not random. They are the universe speaking through you, the unconscious guiding you, and the hidden parts of yourself urging you to step forward. Trust in them, confront them, embrace them, and allow them to transform your life. For in that courage, In that awareness lies the path to wholeness, clarity, and the most authentic version of yourself.